out some type of death scene, how would you do it? Would it be somewhere along the lines of you giving some life-altering message with your head falling limp, or you giving out this long, dramatic last breath? More important than this, what would you say? Would it be something along the lines of Tony Stark from Endgame when he says, "I am Iron Man," being so heroic and heartfelt in its nature? Well, this is the common Hollywood narrative for last words. Now, this is an unrealistic standard for last words, mainly because some people don't even get the opportunity to have them. And I must admit that I was guilty of holding this Hollywood narrative for last words, but I learned, like you will, that there's so much more to them than this. Today, we're going to debunk some of the misconceived assumptions about last words while uncovering some of the hidden truths they can reveal. We're going to do this by exploring the significance of last words, spoken last words, and stolen last words. First, I want to start with the significance of last words. The significance of last words is in the eye of its beholder. Why? Because its value varies from person to person. We're going to look at this through three themes: beliefs, morals, and culture. Belief is the individual perception of last words. According to a July 9, 2018 news article, They See Dead People, reported by Morning Call, people value last words because they provide a glimpse into the afterlife. People when dying often claim to see dead relatives or angels and other visitors of the afterlife, whereas another person seeing the same experience would describe it as a hallucination, an effect from a drug. Kind of like this poet who says, "I see such things as you cannot imagine." This can be interpreted as a supernatural experience or just a hallucination. Another standpoint is travel metaphors. According to an article posted January 23, 2019 by The Atlantic, people use metaphors of travel often when dying. They explain that they're going someplace, but they all end up in different destinations. For example, a golfer, in his last words, talked about how he was going to a golf tournament to go see his father and brother who were already dead. Now, morally and culturally, it was seen as a God-given right that was to be denied to no man. In fact, priests felt obligated to give people last words, especially in execution processes, because it was a scary thing for a person to die without having the opportunity to clear their conscience. In addition to this, it was also used as hearsay evidence in criminal cases. This shows the importance of last words because hearsay evidence is hardly used in court, with only a few exceptions, and last words fit within those exceptions. And now culturally, according to Psychology Today's April 4, 2017 article by Dr. Mendoza, who specializes in grief, last words are valued differently from different cultures. In some Asian cultures, Zen masters are supposed to recite a poem. And then in some Jewish traditions, they're supposed to recite the Shema, and so on. Now, as we can see, significance of last words varies from person to person, but something that is equally as significant as this is what they actually consist of. Well, spoken last words can cover that for us. Spoken last words are like a box of chocolates, because you never know what you're going to get with them. My furry friend here displays a very dramatic type of last words, but not all last words are like this. They vary and they're very unique and diverse in nature, and we're going to study this through 3 C's, which are context, circumstance, and career. Starting with context, they can be humorous to inspiring, like love one another. Or they can be heartfelt to anger-provoking. Or they can be profound to incoherent, like the word dictionary. It really just varies. However, studies have found that there's an overarching theme of love and positive language used in last words. According to Scientific American June 2016 article, on a study of over 23,000 prison executions, over 10,000 of them apologized and asked for forgiveness, whereas over 16,000 of them used love language. Another study of over 2,000 relatives who were given advice from their passing loved ones found that the advice was more centered around relationships and being happy. And like context, things also vary in circumstances. According to the New Yorker 18th June 2017 article, on a study on prisoner executions, they found that executions that happened publicly were more generalized because of pressures, whereas an execution that happened privately, like electric chair or lethal injection, there was less pressure and last words were more personalized, and they were more likely to address their families and victims. Now, outside of circumstances, things also varied with career, which is crazy, I know, but according to the Atlantic 23rd January 2019 article, Military men ranked highest in having directions and admonitions, whereas philosophers ranked highest in asking questions and providing answers in their last words. So as we can see, last words fall on a very wide spectrum. However, while some people get last words, others do not. This leads us to stolen last words. Now, stolen last words are words that are either written, constructed for the person, or not given at all. We can see this through two common categories, which are reworded last words and unspoken last words. Reworded last words are last words that are either given or altered. We can commonly see this in our society today through gravestones. Gravestones kind of act as a last say-so. We see this with soldiers who aren't able to give official last words. Their last words are written for them on their graves. Another way last words are reworded in our society are because people hear what they want. According to Civil Time August 2019 article, this prisoner prior to his execution gave last words, but his prison recorded something completely different. This happens because of common miscommunications, but also because of hearer bias. In addition to this, last words can be reworded when expectations are not met. For example, this famous general was more of like a heroic figure, but his last words were boring and said, "I will give that sum." So to kind of spice it up a little bit and to change it for comic book purposes, they changed it to "strike the tent." Now moving on to the unspoken aspect of stolen last words. Unspoken last words are not altered, but are written by the person who's dying or are either not given. According to November 25, 2015, Fast Company, a magazine centered on technology and business, shows that social media is a form of unspoken last words, mainly because of when unexpected deaths occur, people are fast to refer to the last Instagram post or last tweet of this person. They even have a If I Die app, which is when users can create their last words that are only to be posted if they die. In addition to this, another unspoken last word is illnesses. This is the physical inability of being able to have the last words that you want based off of sickness or effects of drugs. Now, further studies have found that once again there is an overarching theme of love, kind of like we saw in spoken last words. According to October 2015 MySource study of suicide notes by Indiana J Psychiatry, which is an academic journal specializing in psychiatry, they found that the content of most suicide notes, or their study on suicide notes, the content was a majority of apology, shame, and guilt. And then 55% of it was also centered around love. A similar study on fallen soldier letters also showed that love in relationships was the most common theme in their letters. So as we can see, last words are not at all like the Hollywood narrative. Today we have debunked some misconceived assumptions about last words by looking at the significance of last words, spoken last words, and stolen last words. And here are my last words to you. Even though last words seem to be a very depressing concept, we found a lot of messages of hope. And in fact, they reveal humanity's deep-seated need to be remembered, loved, and connected.